Miami Marlins. They sweep them. They head over to Chicago now to take on the Cubs. Bob Nightengale joins us now, talk some baseball, USA Today, of course, columnist, and he joins us here on the Right to It guest line. What is with this National League, Bob? Top 6, 7 teams, if you want to throw the Diamondbacks in there. When you look at power rankings, it's all National League right now. Dodgers, Padres, Phillies, Mets, Cubs, Giants, and you put the Diamondbacks in there. Is this something you think will continue? Is your crystal ball think that this continue?
Well, I do. I think the National League is that much stronger than the American League. Even this free agent period over the winter, they all went to the National League. No, it's unbelievable how strong it is. I think, we talked about when the Yankees won the World Series last year, I think they would have finished fourth in the National League West. Because I think, obviously Dodgers and Padres are better. I think the Diamondbacks were too. And so, here you are, the Diamondbacks, fourth best record in baseball, and only in fourth place in their own division.
The Dodgers, they're betting well. They're 500 in the last 10 games, but I think most people feel that they're going to be there. Do you see a way, aside from injury, that the Padres and the Giants could cool off to give the D-backs an opportunity? I know they play 26 times still for the rest of the season. I know it's young. But what will it take? What will it take?
The Giants are kind of playing over their heads. I saw the Padres that matter. But I just don't see the Giants keeping that up. I think they're an 81, 85 win team. I don't think they're, going to win over 90 games type thing. I really don't. Padres are good. So, obviously the Dodgers are too. So I think it's a, three-headed monster. Going down there, and we'll see what happens with the, if the Diamondback pitching staff, lives up to expectations, they can be right there at the end. But, as long as you get in, it doesn't matter if you have fourth place, as long as, 3 wild cards come from the National League West.
And Bob, to that point, when you, I guess what we're all talking about is that the Diamondbacks keeping pace with the Padres, Giants, and Dodgers. Watching this team just pick up what they did last year as far as hitting the baseball, is it just about their pitching coming around? They had 2 errors today. They seem to be scuffling a little bit, but will that be the key throughout the season, or does the pitching rotation have to pick it up a little bit?
I think they'll pick it up. I think last year that was a disappointment. You thought guys were going to pitch better and they didn't. But certainly, they're deep enough. And, got Nelson as the 6th starter, pitching lights out of the bullpen. So I see no reason why they can't keep it up. And, offensively, I think it's been a little surprise, particularly with what Pavin Smith is doing and what Naylor is doing. Naylor is picked, right up where Christian Walker left off. I thought it'd be a big hole there without Walker, but Naylor has still filled it pretty well. And this is all without Marte too, so that's encouraging.
Do you feel that Corbin Burns is starting to get his land legs? Looks like Erod is struggling a little bit as well too. Again, early in the season, but are you starting to see them both come around as far as mechanic-wise is concerned?
Yeah, Corbin Burns is no concern at all. He's a workhorse, always going to go every start. Win the Cy Young for a reason. So I think he'll be just fine. I don't, he's the least of worries. Rodriguez, you kind of would hope that he would step up a little bit, where he's just been so-so. He certainly hasn't been the pitcher that they envision. Obviously, he was hurt for a while. I think he'd be more of a concern over Rodriguez, certainly, than Corbin Burns or anybody else in rotation.
Bob Nightengale is our guest on the Right Toyota guest line. Bob, my question is the bullpen. Today it was A.J. Puck who worked as the closer. Does it matter at all that Torey Lovullo still has not named a closer, that he is doing it by committee? I understand the premise for baseball, but does it matter at all?
It doesn't. Though he doesn't name him, obviously you've gotten a Puck a few times now. Obviously, he's a closer. You don't want to say it, but he's a closer. And but yeah, I think just going to keep Martinez in that role. They like him, the 8th inning role. I think last year a little nervous in 9th inning. Obviously he's their full-time closer of the future. And I think Torey Lovullo just doesn't say who's my closer because he wants to be able to mix and match. Rather than someone say, "Oh, by the way, how can you use your closer?" But I think Puck has been that guy.
I thought it was interesting that Martinez came in. What was it? The 7th inning, bases loaded. He walks in a run, but coming in at that point, since Thompson was really scuffling with those 2 walks. Did you find that surprised you, Bob, that Martinez would come in that early just for the 1 out, get the strikeout?
No, you see managers do that now. If it's a high leverage situation, let me get my best guy there.
Yeah.
And that's been Martinez. So, you see that a lot of times in the playoffs where guys will come in the 6th inning or even 5th inning sort of thing. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him even earlier in some games, particularly some key games, just to get a key matchup there. So, no, I thought it's smart. I mean, sometimes, those games can be lost in the 7th or 8th inning. Why might as well put your best guys in instead of waiting for the 9th, but it may be too late.
Bob, I want to shift gears with you and talk about the American League with Aaron Judge. Remarks this week from Mets Juan Soto calling him the best hitter in baseball. Would you agree he's the best hitter in baseball right now, or would you give that nod to that guy in L.A.?
No, I would say Judge.
Okay.
I think he is the best player in baseball.
Best hitter.
Surprised that Soto would say that. I mean, Pete Alonso's been, playing great. He's as hot as anybody right now. So for Soto to say that right now, what happens when Alonso cools off?
Mm-hmm.
It's certainly what you don't want to hear for a guy that just paid, $7 or $65 million, complaining about the support behind you. If you're getting that kind of money, you don't have to worry about your support. Do it yourself. You're not hearing Aaron Judge ever complain about who's sitting behind him.
Who has more pressure on him? Is it the Mets or the Yankees in the city of New York? Because of all that you just mentioned, they both have some big-time payrolls.
4 minutes.
Yeah, no, great question. I would say still the Yankees, just because the Yankees, they haven't won a World Series since 2009. I know the Mets haven't won either since, 86. I think pressure on the Mets to make the playoffs, probably more pressure on the Yankees to win the World Series.
Bob, when you look at the American League West, we went over this yesterday. You look at all the teams. Every one of the team has a negative run differential, But yet the Rangers are 11-7. The Angels 9-8, followed by Seattle, Houston, Athletics, A's, 3 games back. But that might be a first. You see it a little bit in the Central, American League Central. My negative run differential and being at the top of your division.
Yeah, that's hard to do. It really is. Some of those run differentials get carried away. It's like, okay, the Dodgers, gave up lost the game 16 earlier today when they had a position player in there. So those teams get carried away some. I think the Texas Rangers are for real. I think they're the best team in the American League. And particularly when DeGrom is, pitching well and he's been healthy. So I like the Rangers. I think the Rangers will be very
2 minutes.
Playoff time.
Bob, take me to the Oakland A's. They have the Chicago White Sox Oakland A's game on right now. Look, we all know the White Sox are putting a Double-A team on the field, but Oakland is capitalizing. Is this a team that is very young, but they do have some really good players? Could we see the Oakland A's in some form this summer start to be impressive and maybe even make a run?
No, definitely. I don't see them making the playoffs this year.
Right.
I certainly think they're going to make the playoffs before they leave Sacramento. So 2 more years. So no, I think they're they're an impressive team, young, athletic, got some guys coming. So no, they're a good team. I just don't. I think it's too much now. They already picked up 19 games, improved by that a year ago. I can't see them picking up another 19 games this year, and be in the playoff team.
Bob, we always appreciate you, man. Thank you for some time today.
A pleasure. Thank you, guys. Take care.
Bob Nightengale, USA Today baseball columnist. You can follow him on X at @BNightingale. Appreciate him taking some time. Bob's a local resident. I had the luxury of hanging out with him about a month ago, and enjoyed some wine together at a celebrity wine and spirits event in Scottsdale.
Were you hosting? Were you the celebrity?
I was not the celebrity, but I was one of the hosts. I was one of the hosts.
Were you one of the personalities?
Yes.
No, it was probably Bob Nightengale. No, Tom Chambers was there with tequila, and Dusty Baker was there, and there were a few others.
So clear around.
The Bella twins.
Why are you hanging with me and Manuch then? Why aren't you like hobnobbing?
Good therapy for him to hang out with us.
It's definitely not good therapy. Hey, we're losing a staple on Saturday mornings in the world of college football, and we're gonna talk about that next. Plus, we have our underdog picks in the NBA. We'll get to those. We appreciate you hanging out with us today. It's Roc Manuch with Jimmy V right now here on ESPN.